In the previous video, we identified common trauma symptoms across emotional, behavioral, cognitive, and physical areas. In this video, I want to introduce the window of tolerance, which helps explain why those symptoms occur. This model looks at how this nervous system responds to stress and trauma. As you listen, simply notice what feels familiar. This is about awareness, not judgment. It's about teaching you about the window of tolerance, which will help you manage your emotions possibly, and at the very least, understand what's going on in your body. Okay, here we go. If you if you have symptoms of trauma, what do you do? Trauma recovery involves the following: learning about trauma. So giving you accurate information creates the foundation of recovery. So really understanding there's a symptom check, there's a history checklist, and then there's a symptom checklist. Number two, learning new strategies and skills, learning new ways of being with your symptoms that are simple and effective. Once learned, these new skills and strategies lengthen emotional resilience as well as physical and cognitive stability. They make it way easier to remain focused and function in daily life. So you're not above, hyper focused, or on the couch below the window of tolerance. Number three, processing traumatic memories. When we resolve traumatic memories, they stop getting triggered and are no longer disturbing. So I am an EMDR certified therapist. I also am trained in brain spotting and utilize internal family systems or IFS to help stabilize and process traumatic memories. Number four, we heal the attachment system because a strong, healthy attachment system heals trauma and helps you build a happier life. So, in the following pages, you will begin to learn about trauma, learn new skills and strategies for being with your symptoms in a safe, effective way. Your trauma therapist can help you with processing traumatic memories and healing your attachment system. Okay, so we're going to learn about the window of tolerance. So I'm going to actually show you this as I read through what the window tolerance is. So, window of tolerance. I want you to keep this picture in mind, and I think it's more effective for my visual learners to be able to read along with me. So keep this picture in mind, and then let's go back to what window of tolerance. So emotions naturally go up and down. So think this picture. So emotions go up, emotions go down. And when we are able to think and feel at the same time, we are in our window of tolerance. So here's the window. And so emotions go up and they go down, and that means that we are in our window of tolerance. In hyperarousal, we are above the window of tolerance. We're overstimulated, overwhelmed, and unable to think and feel clearly. In hypoarousal, down, we're below the window of tolerance. We're numb, shut down, exhausted, unable to think clearly. And trauma survivors spend too much time above the window of tolerance and below the window of tolerance. A lot of times, a lot of times ADHD will mask as trauma will mask as ADHD, trauma will mask as bipolar because you're going up, you're going down. Sometimes it can mask as borderline personality disorder because you're just unable to manage all these emotions. And borderlines have very strong emotions that they feel. I'm not saying that's always, but it can be sometimes. So again, trauma survivors spend too much time above and too much time below. So how do you know when you're above your window? I want to explain that again in a different way. And then I want you to be thinking, how do you know if you're up here? So you're unable to think And clearly, you're in a hyper-aroused state. You're in panic, terror, rage, agitation, panic, overstimulation. And that affects your sympathetic nervous system. So, in our nervous system, we have what we call the vagus nerve. So, it goes from the base of our brain in through our necks down into our chest. It goes along our spine into our bowels and along our spine into our stomach, and it's in our chest. So when you're in the sympathetic nervous system, when you're feeling rage and terror, you cannot manage it. So you're in your limbic polyvagal nervous system, and then you're just like, help, help. Um, And then your body cannot stay up here. It cannot stay in this sympathetic nervous system. It crashes through the window of tolerance into your parasympathetic nervous system. So you're, again, unable to think clearly. You're in a hypo aroused state. You're numb, collapsed, ashamed, shut down, exhausted. So you're up here, you're like, help. And down here, you're like, blah. So if you're in panic all the time because you don't know, you're 3 years old, and am I going to my mom's house or my dad's house? There's fighting here. So I'm in terror. And then I'm exhausted, so I can't think feel well. So now I'm just like on the couch, just staring blankly, and you're just like, well, why can't you get up and eat your breakfast or whatever? Or maybe you're a teenager and you're being bullied all the time. So now you go to school and you're hyper aroused and you're aware. And then you're exhausted when you get home, and your mom's like, why can't you get off the couch and do your homework? Well, because you've been hyper aroused all day long, and now you're crashing through your window of tolerance, and now you're numb and collapsed. And if you keep on repeating this cycle, either you stay numb or you can stay in terror. So the goal is this area, the blue area, because that's exactly what happens. Emotions naturally go up and they come down, and they are manageable. But trauma survivors are above or below the window of tolerance. So let's go back to this. How do you know when you're above your window of tolerance? I want you to take a moment, think about that. How do you know when you're below your window of tolerance? When you're in that hyper aroused state, what can help you come down? What helps you come back into your window of tolerance instead of crashing down? I need to go for a walk. I need to put on a headset. I need to eat. Think about that. What helps you come down when you're out of your window of tolerance above the line? What helps you come up when you need to get off the couch or go brush your teeth? Maybe you can put on a happy song. Maybe you can have motivation that you're going to go meet a friend for lunch. What do you do to help you come up? And lastly, what pushes you out of your window? What are your triggers? What makes you so upset that you have to go up and be pissed off and tell somebody off? Or what helps you go down and isolate and just numb out and stare out the wall and become like a brick so nobody can penetrate you? What are those things that make you go above or below your window of tolerance? Okay, let's review. So when you're in a hyper aroused state, you can't think or feel at the same time. When you're at a hypo aroused state, you can't think or feel at the same time. And that's your that's your nervous system going up and down, and our job is to regulate it. So understanding the window of tolerance helps you see your reactions are not personal failures, they're nervous system responses. And in the next section, we'll begin talking about trauma and the instinctive defenses the body uses to survive, using the book as a guide.